significant do you think these upgrades are? And key, are people going to buy these new devices with inflation higher than it's been in 40 years?
I think it's been interesting to see that the focus today has been on real pain points that consumer have, and also hit on the key drivers that you see consumer talk more and more about, which is battery life, is a better display, is a better camera with low light conditions. You saw that, and you saw how Tim Cook opened the event today talking about the value of each product and then the magic that the three products that we're here for today bring together. And I think that's what you have when you're thinking about upgrading. You might have one of these products that are older than another, and you want to get into that cycle so that you can take better advantage of the new features, but also feel that magic that Cook was talking about.
Well, I wonder if the most significant announcement was the price of that, lowest tier, iPhone 14, and it being the same as the iPhone 13 was last year.
Yeah, the price are the same, is a good and a bad, depending where you're looking at it, right? We have seen some of the consumer electronic companies bringing their prices up earlier in the year because of inflation. Others, they kept them the same. I think what was interesting to maybe sweeten a little bit that price point is the deals for the trade-ins that you've seen Apple mention through the carriers in the US and directly from Apple. $800 to $1,000 depending on what model you're traded in.
So let's talk about the other things. Satellite connectivity, I know that was a really big deal. And how significant is that going to be in terms of driving more people to buy these phones?
I don't know that the satellite is necessarily a purchase driver per se, but I think is that extra peace of mind, the same way as you think about insurance, right? You have it, you have to purchase it, you hope you never use it, but you know that it's there in case you need it. And it's the same with the feature of car crash detection, as an example. Peace of mind for parents with new drivers coming on, a feature that is both on the watch and on the phone, all the way to the throughout the portfolio. So the safety was an extra, if you like, pillar on what Apple built today across the portfolio.
All right, let's talk about the Apple Watch Ultra. Significant pricing news there as well. Very much undercutting Garmin at the high end of the market. They called this watch your dive computer. It can go 40 meters below the surface of the ocean. I mean, it seems pretty cool, but how big a market is there for a niche, rugged smartwatch?
The reality is that you have the core people that would have bought a Garmin, and then you have the wannabe, and the market for the wannabe, the ones that wish they could do an Ironman, but they can't, it's considerable, right? And I think what was smart about the design is that despite the size that is so large, it's very lightweight. And so, I have a small wrist like you do, and it looks humongous on the wrist, but it's not heavy. So I think they've done a good job in trying from a style perspective to appeal to a broader market, and they could have priced it at $999 if they wanted to, but they did not.
So what are you looking for in terms of the numbers? I spoke with Tim Cook at the end of earnings last quarter, and he said they do expect revenue to accelerate in the September quarter. Of course, we know that new iPhones are going to go on sale a week before the quarter ends, so they're going to get some additional boost there. How much of a difference is that going to make? And could it give the global economy kind of a little morale boost if Apple is able to, beat or even meet expectations?
I think you have three lines that will contribute to that boost, right? You have the iPhone, and it's interesting that they picked different times of the release for the iPhone, getting into October as well. So you have that carrying through to the next quarter. But you also have something like Airpods Pro that at $250 will drive a lot of upgrades. So there's a lot of different price point there that will help the bottom line. And as I said, it's the magic of the three coming together.
The Airpods were kind of a sleeper hit when they came out, and it's been a long time. A lot of people have been waiting for an upgrade. It was also said today that a lot of people lose their Airpods. Are they going to want to spend $250 on something that is, yes, beloved, but also easy to misplace?
Well, I speak from experience. I have a teenager that always loses them, so I feel that pain. They made it easier though to find them today. Fair enough, right? So you can find the case and you can find each individual AirPod in an easier way. And I think the silly thing of the Memoji engraving speaks also to that popularity, where you have households where you have multiple AirPods that live together, and that will make it easier for the consumer to spot which one is mine.